Here's another review from 3 days and tres noches, where we just got back from Cancun, Mexico, and stayed at the Sun Palace in downtown Cancun. And remember, this is not a travel vlog or a travel agency. I just bring you real reviews with real information. So let's get started. So let's start with transportation, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know when I'm in Cancun, I always use Nacho Tours. It is a family-owned business, small business, very safe and reliable and affordable. I'll put his WhatsApp number in the description and I highly recommend him. One thing I loved about this resort was how close it was to the airport, really only 15 to 20 minutes. We were there door to door. So that's a huge plus whenever you're traveling for a short amount of time to be close to the airport. Now for the check-in process, and one thing the Palace Resorts does very well is the check-in process. They try to get you in and out quickly, they pay attention to detail, and they also treat you very special. However, make sure you watch this entire video because after check-in, they put you over into the membership side. And I went through this process just for you guys, and I have some really, really important tips that you're going to want to know if you are going to this resort. Now it's time for some ratings, and I'm giving the rooms a 9 out of 10. And we actually stayed in 2 different rooms, which is kind of becoming a pattern for us. So I'm excited to be able to show you 2 different rooms, although they're very similar. But this one is extraordinary. They upgraded us to the Governor's Suite. So let's take a look. Not only is this considered a honeymoon suite, but it's also designed for people that want to share a room. So this is a couples only resort, but if you wanted to share it with another couple, there is a room here, 234. So that's why they have the seating area that you guys, if you wanted to have drinks at night. So that's pretty neat. I've never seen that before in another room. But this is our room, which is 233. We're gonna take a look at the Governor's Suite, see what all the hype is about. Let's see. Okay, I see what the hype is about. Wow. So take a look. So right here, look at this, a beautiful dining area. So again, this is designed where you can gather people around if you want to play games or have drinks and just talk. I love this. And over here, so there's a sink area. They greet you with a bottle of wine, which you always like. Let's take a look here. This is the coffee drawer. So you have different coffees because you have a coffee machine. Here. Snacks. There's a few snacks, not a lot. Not as many in some of the other Sun Palace we've been to, but there are some snacks. And then these are just drawers that you can store things in. Let's see with this. Woo! The liquor cabinet. So one of the things I love about the Palace Resorts is that each room usually has their own wet bar, which is great because I've told you before in my reviews is that sometimes you want to come home at night and have a little drink. And to have this already in the room, you don't have to buy necessarily a whole bottle of alcohol at the airport, which I've told you to do before, so I love that. And then now for the mini bar. And you can see everything is right here. They can tell you it's sanitized with these stickers. And then, it is completely stocked with beer, water, mineral water, sodas, and juice. All right, let's keep looking. Oh my God, look at this. I love the decor. It's like a modern decor. But again, the steps, that was the same thing so watch your step. Never understood why they put steps, in a resort hotel, but they're there, so be careful. But I do love the decor, I love this. I love that. And wow, that's one of the biggest TVs I've ever seen in a resort. That's definitely the biggest. So if you love to watch TV, there's a ton of channels, that's really, and it's a good quality. All right, so let's check it out outside. have basically the whole ocean view. You have the view of the pool. Now this could be a little bit of an eyesore, the top of the roof. So if that would bother you, might be something to think about. But then you also have the city view. I love it. The whole separate bedroom area. Wow, that's so cool. So it has double sinks, which you know I'm always a huge fan of the double sinks, especially when you're traveling with multiple people. They have all the different toiletries that you would need. The hair dryer. I love it. Then over here, let's look here. Tons of closet space. They have the iron. They have the robes. If you guys want some robes, there's included. More closet space. They have a lot of closet space that you can use. And a sink. Also more shelving if you want to put some of your stuff in here, which always helps. A full-length mirror, which we know women always love. That's nice to have. It's a separate toilet. You know, I love having that separate toilet. Which is really nice. Let's look here. And a separate shower with the rainfall shower. So you know I love that. Like, I love that someone could be showering, somebody could be going to the bathroom, and someone could be getting ready all at the same time. So I love that privacy factor. And look, even little hooks here. Love that. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Look at this. I love the decor. I do love this. Amazing. And there is that separate, another seating area, and another outside. Let's take a look. There's a whole separate, look at jacuzzi tub. Outside. Amazing. And so now you have the city view. So you have the ocean view and you have the city and bay view. I love that. You could just lay down and relax. I love this. Okay, so now, really beautiful bed, nice big bed, comfortable. Another TV, just a separate TV, lots of drawer space for your stuff. You even have a diffuser, I love. And we got a welcome gift. Ah, and another balcony. Let's look. So after being in the room for a whole day, I actually decided to switch rooms. And you're probably thinking, are you crazy? Because we had one of the best rooms in the resort. But I did find that rooftop structure just to be an eyesore. When I wake up in the morning, I just want to see ocean blue. And the other issue was the room was actually just way too big for me. And I knew I would never use the bathtub when it was outside. I don't like it when the tub is outside. I prefer the tub to be inside. So we asked to switch rooms. They were so great about it. They facilitated it very, very quickly. and I absolutely loved the view that I woke up to, even though it was a much smaller room. So now for the beach, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. And usually down this area of Cancun and downtown Cancun, the beaches are pristine. But this time of year, Cancun is really experiencing a lot of seaweed. And I knew that going into it because I did my research. The first day, there was a lot of seaweed when we got there. We still were able to get in the water, but there is seaweed all around you. Then the next day, there was almost no seaweed. And then the last day, the seaweed came back. So that is common too when the seaweed comes and goes and the currents can take it in and take it out. There's also a lot of waves down here, so the water can get rough. In fact, a couple from Oregon, I think it was, commented that that was one of the things that they were disappointed that it was just too rough for them to get into the water. So if you don't like water with a lot of waves, that's something to consider. However, they had tons of seating on the beach. They didn't have a lot of activities. They did have activities every now and again because most people were at the pool and not hanging out on the beach, probably because of the seaweed. In terms of water sports, there really wasn't a lot provided because it is that area of Cancun where it's not really conducive to water sports. There were some jet skis that you could rent, but again, people weren't really taking them out too much because the water was pretty rough. Also at night, we did see a turtle come up and getting ready to lay some eggs. This is a turtle preservation area as well. So now for the pools, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. And in fact, this was one of my favorite pool experiences that I've had at any resort, even though it was a smaller resort. On one side, they had a quieter side. That's where the diamond level was if they were diamond members, or if you just wanted a quieter pool experience, and they had a bar over there. And then on the other side, they had this amazing infinity pool that just overlooked the ocean. And they had a lot of fun activities going on. We met a lot of people, and they had great service at the pools, and they had food right there. They were making pizzas and guacamole and tacos. And it was really just a lot of fun. The reason why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 is because of the seating. So if you did not get up at 7 in the morning and reserve your seats, you were not going to be getting seats at the pool. And I know a lot of people find that annoying on vacation. So that's something to think about. I did see that there were some that were reserved ahead of time, and I have a feeling that's probably for members. And I'm actually a member now, so I'm going to look into that next time. But it was one annoying thing that I found at the pool. Other than that, I absolutely loved this pool experience, and I would go back to this resort probably just for that. So now it's time for some food and drinks, and I was really on the fence between an 8 or a 9 out of 10, but I'm going to go for the 8 out of 10, and I'll tell you why at the end. It is a really, really small resort, so just keep that in mind. So in terms of options, there's not a ton. For breakfast, they have a breakfast buffet. They also have an a la carte restaurant upstairs, Fuego. The breakfast buffet was really good. It was just very small, smaller than I've seen in other resorts, but it has everything and anything that you would want for breakfast. Made to order omelets, they have waffles, French toast, fruits, juices, those types of things. Now, I absolutely loved the a la carte Fuego breakfast upstairs. I really, really like that. And then they also have 24-hour room service in your rooms. So we got breakfast one morning that way, which was good. And one of my favorite things was the little coffee shop, which was right off the lobby. And they made fresh coffees. They had ice cream and cakes and pastries. And I always love when a resort has a nice little coffee shop. Now for lunch, they also have a buffet and an a la carte restaurant, but I only ate lunch by the pool because it was so good. They had freshly made guacamole, fresh tacos, they had made to order pizzas, brick oven pizzas, and then you could order wings and burgers, and it was just brought to you right by the pool, so I never left to try lunch somewhere else, but it was really, really good. The drinks and cocktails were also excellent, and there was always a bar within steps. Again, this is a small resort. I was surprised at first that there wasn't a lobby bar, but I realized there really wasn't enough space, so the bar is right off of the lobby, and it's a beautiful bar. During the day, it has an amazing view, and at night, it comes alive as the little place for nightlife. There's also a bar by the quiet pool, and then there's a swim-up bar by the activity pool. So the reason for the 8 out of 10 were because of the restaurants at night. First, you can't make reservations. And I know some people prefer that, but I do not. I prefer to make reservations. I don't want to wait around for tables on vacation. It wasn't too bad. We only had to wait one night for about 30 minutes. But then the meals itself were not that great. They were decent. And I think because I had stayed at the Grand at the Moon Palace, I was expecting all of the meals to be as excellent as they were there, since this is a palace resort. The first night we went to the Italian restaurant and it was decent. The second night we went to the Thai restaurant. We did not like that at all. Again, I'm not a huge Thai food fan, but we did speak to some other couples who kind of felt the same. And then the last night we saved for the steak restaurant, Fuego. And I think I was expecting this really, really excellent meal, and it was just average. Now, I did talk to some other couples and families, and they said it does kind of depend too on the dishes that you order. So there's people that have been coming there for years and years and years, and they know that there's some dishes that are better than others. But again, it didn't really affect me too much because I like to have a really big breakfast, a big lunch, and then I eat very, very light at dinner. I did like too that they were open late. So they were open until 10:30, the restaurants, and because I like to have usually a late dinner. And I have to say that the service was really, really good. And that's always important. We never had to wait too long for anything. And they were always very, very attentive. But I'm still going to give it an 8 out of 10, just in case there's somebody out there that really looks forward to their dinners on vacation. This might not be the place for you. So let's talk activities. And again, I was very torn with the rating between an 8 or a 9, but I'm going to give the activities an 8 out of 10. This is a much smaller resort. In fact, it's the smallest all-inclusive resort that I've been to. And because of that, there's not going to be as many activities in comparison to a larger resort. One of the things I absolutely love, though, is that you have access to all the other palace resorts in Cancun. So you could use the Grand and the Moon Palace. You could go to the Beach Palace and even the Palace at Isla Mujeres, which we did, and I'm going to show you that at the end. So that's one benefit if you are getting bored in the smaller resort. In terms of what they have to do on the property, they have a really nice fitness center that has an amazing view. They had a nice spa, although I didn't get a chance to use it because it was booked, but I heard a lot of good compliments about the spa. During the day, they had a fabulous entertainment staff over at the activity pool, and there was always something going on. They had volleyball, they were doing games. I even participated in a soccer contest and totally failed. They had a saxophonist. It was really one of my favorite things about this resort was the activities at the pool. So now for a few of the downsides and the reason for the 8 out of 10. And the first one is there's really no water sports. So if you are someone who likes those, it's really just not a good area of Cancun. It's too windy and the water's too rough. The other issue was the ballroom in the basement. So there's no open air stage if you're someone who really likes those big resort shows. There's nothing like that here. The ballroom is actually in the basement kind of. So they had a few things. They had like a chef's dinner, they had a trivia night, but no large shows. Again, doesn't bother me, but if you're someone who likes that, you're not going to find that here. If you're looking for more of a party scene, this resort might not be for you as well. The nightlife was a little bit more subdued. It was over in the lobby bar, so there's no club at this resort, like nightclub. So they had a great guitarist one night, they had a singer one night, and they had a DJ, but there's no club. Now again, you can go to the Grand, there's a club there, and you're right in downtown Cancun as well. But I know a lot of the clubs were closing early because of COVID, and you might not feel comfortable going off the resort. So that's just one thing to take note of as well. And if you wanted more to do, you are right in downtown Cancun, like I said, So the resort will guide you on some things that you could do. You could take a taxi, take a bus, you can go shopping. There's lots to do in downtown as well. And now for the final part of the activities, and that are the tours. I have a lot of people always asking me about the tours, and we really wanted to take one to show you what it was like. However, it was booked. So I'm going to talk about this more when I talk about the membership tour. But just a tip is contact the resort before you get there and see if you can book a tour ahead of time and reserve a spot. We wanted to go to Isla Mujeres, which I guess is one of the most popular ones, and it was booked. So we decided just to go on our own. I'm going to do a whole separate video on the trip to Isla Mujeres, but real quickly I want to show you how easy it is to do on your own. The staff at the resort also guided us. So we took the bus, which was only $1 per person, to the ferry stop. And once we got to the ferry stop, they're waiting for you basically to get off, and you buy your tickets. It's $20 round trip per person. And then you simply go over and you get on the ferry, which is about a 15 to 20 minute ride. They have some really nice entertainment, and it's a gorgeous ride. Now, I was surprised when we got there of how crowded it was. Now, I know this is only a 4-mile island, and maybe it's in the middle of summer, but it was super, super crowded. There were people everywhere, as you can see here. But everyone told us that we had to rent a golf cart. So a lot of the golf carts were sold out, but we did find one place that still had them, and it was about, I think, $40 to $50 for 2 hours. So we took the golf cart over to the Palace Resort on Isla Mujeres, which was perfect because we could use the bathroom and we could have a drink and some lunch and even take a look at the resort a little bit, which I will show you on the Isla Mujeres video. Then from there, we came back to the other side, which everyone said we had to go to Playa del Norte. However, it was just so crowded on that side of the island, we decided just to turn the golf cart in and head back to the resort. However, I think we decided to go back when everyone wanted to go back, which was like 5:30 or 6. So we had to wait in a pretty lengthy line, maybe about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, to get the ferry back to the resort. Be sure to look for the entire video on Isla Mujeres, where I will detail the trip, give you the cost, and I'm excited to go back to this resort just to take the tour to Isla Mujeres, and then you can compare what it's like taking a tour versus going on your own. So now finally, let's go on that membership tour. And like I said at the beginning, after checkout, they're going to take you over to the other side and casually try to get you to go on a 90-minute tour about their membership. Now, normally I would just say no, flat out no, but I wanted to take the tour for a couple reasons, and I'm really glad I did. One is to be able to review it for you, but also I was interested in a membership, and I actually did become a member at the end, just because of the traveling, and I know I can offer it now to my viewers. And finally, I wanted to see LeBlanc, where they took us, and wow, what a stunning property. Okay, so the biggest tip I can give you is do not take this tour if you're just doing it for the resort credits. Or if you're just doing it for the resort credits, just know that this is a high-pressured sales presentation. So you're not there for 90 minutes, you're there for a couple of hours. And you have to give a really, really firm upfront no, even if you just need to get up and walk out. They will keep coming back and trying to get you to become a member. The other tip is that whatever you're going to use the resort credits for, make sure you book ahead of time, because we got all of these great resort credits and we couldn't use them because everything was booked. The tour that we wanted to go on was booked and the spa was booked. So you can book ahead of time, 30 days ahead of time. I emailed the property and they said you can do it 30 days ahead of time, and then you can just apply the resort credits when you get them. So now for the burning question, should you become a member of the Palace Resorts? And it's really different for everyone. They will customize a membership for you that's right for you. But if you are going to return even just once to a Palace Resort, I would say it's probably worth it because there's a lot of different benefits with it. And they customized one for me that I can even offer my viewers. So that I found really, really beneficial. I would actually recommend going on this tour, believe it or not, even if it's just to see the beautiful LeBlanc property. It's truly stunning. And they do give you a really good amount of resort credits. However, a couple things. Like I said, it's very high pressure. So They are just concerned about getting you in the tour and having you become a member. So make sure that you go into it very strong as well, that you know what you want. Even if you don't want to be a member, you're just doing the tour, make sure you just tell them that. And if you only want to be there a certain amount of time, make sure that you tell them that, because you can be just as strong as they're being, and they're going to keep bringing other people in. It's almost like a car sales transaction, we were saying. So just go into it knowing that. Okay, so final thoughts on the Sun Palace in downtown Cancun. And the first thing is that this resort is very small, so keep that in mind. But I loved it because it was so small. In fact, it was one of the smallest all-inclusive resorts that I've been to. And again, I absolutely loved it because I didn't have to walk everywhere. Everything was right there, and my feet and my legs weren't hurting by the time that I left. I also love that it's right near the airport, so it's like 15-20 minutes away, and it's also right in downtown Cancun, which is important to note that because of that, it's a little bit more expensive. So just like anything, when you go into the city, it's going to cost you a little bit more. So the hotels down here are a little bit more expensive. Usually the beaches down here are beautiful, but I knew going into it that they were having a really bad seaweed problem. So I was pleasantly surprised that we actually did be able to get in the water, and we had one day where there was no seaweed. They really spend a lot of time trying to clear it and get it out, but it's just, it's just Mother Nature. There's not too much they can do about it. And they had an amazing pool experience, so I didn't even want to spend so much time at the beach because I love the pool so much, and that's unusual for me. So it was actually one of my favorite pool experiences at any resort. And the fact that the food at night wasn't that great wasn't the biggest deal for me, because I always like a really big breakfast, a really nice lunch, and then I always eat a little light at night anyway. And I could see where you might get bored at this place if you're staying more than 5 nights. So that's why I love that you have access to the other palace resorts in Cancun. So you could go up to the Grander Than the Moon Palace. You could go to Isla Mujeres, which we did, which is a really, really good perk. You do have to wear masks here. It's a little bit more strict than I've noticed at some resorts. So they require them while you're walking around, not while you're outside. And they did drop the ball on a few things. The first thing was the VIP upgrade. So we did upgrade to the VIP. They gave us that nicer room, which we ended up switching, but it came with some perks. And the problem was, one of them was a personal concierge. And normally when you get that, I'm thinking someone's going to be assigned to you, someone's going to contact you. So I was kind of waiting for that. And by day 2, I realized that that wasn't happening. So I went to the front desk, and they said, oh no, you have to go to the concierge, which I didn't even know where that was. And then we had to arrange, we were supposed to get massages and like a reservation and things like that. But by this time it was too late, and I was a little annoyed that we had to do the work to get the VIP things. Like, I think they dropped the ball on that. There was no follow-up. They were more interested in getting us to the membership tour, which brings me to the next thing, which is the resort credits. So you do get a hefty amount of resort credits if you go on that tour, like I said in my video. The thing is that you have to use it for certain things, and it's kind of particular, but they were going to let us use it for the Isla Mujeres tour. So the tour was going to be basically completely free, but there was no follow-up. So they said, oh yeah, you can book it when you come back from the tour. So when we came back from the membership tour, the Isla Mujeres tour was booked, and then they were trying to get us to do some other tours. So I don't know whether they didn't want us to use it because that's the most popular one, or it was booked. I don't know what the deal was, but it was kind of irritating. So now I know ahead of time I'm going to book the tour in advance before I even get there, and then I'm going to apply the credits that I get, if I get any, to that. The other thing is we also got resort credits just through hotels.com or Expedia, whatever you use. And when I went to, shop with them, there's always like, you can use it on this and not this. It's only $50 off, so you end up spending money anyway. So just keep that in mind, the resort credits. It's never like this blanket, resort credits that you get. But overall, I would absolutely recommend this resort. I'm actually going to go back myself. I think also I just love the people that we met. Out of all the experiences that we've had, we've met the most people, and they were fun. In fact, people that we'll probably stay in touch with, hopefully are watching this video and will keep following us. And, you know, yeah, there's a few hiccups. No vacation's ever going to be perfect, so don't set yourself up when you're going on vacation. I mean, we had cancellations on our flight. We had these little hiccups. You know, there's always things that are going to go wrong. So just keep that in mind, but keep watching and following me, because I'm going to give you those tips and tricks to help you find the perfect place to go and things to help you avoid any little hiccups that could happen. So if you did like this video, keep following us on 3 days and Tres Noches while we keep going on fun, exciting, and affordable adventures that you can have in a really short amount of time.